Hey guys, sorry, I was just running around really fast trying to get everything together. Let me know if this is like way too awful, windy, and then I'll just stop. But I have a friend coming today, and sorry, we're gonna start going to my flower. Also, let me know if this is working okay. I have it hooked up to my phone as a hotspot, and yeah, so we're gonna go over to start cutting some flowers, and I apologize for the craziness, really, but I thought it could be at least interesting. I don't know. Um, I'm already pooped, but I was. So here we are at one of my first plots, and I will. Did I put this the wrong way? I so did. Okay, 1 second. There we go. And again, I'm so sorry for the wind noise. It is pretty much the worst, but there's really not a time in my world where it isn't windy outside. So I want to pick flowers, and I hope you guys can hear me okay. And the geese will probably yell. I got my bucket. Yay. And I have to really watch out because there are like just a ton. Oh, hey, little homestead in the forest. I hope you're well. Can you let me know if this is going okay? It's not showing up very well on my phone. I can try hooking it back up to my regular Wi-Fi. So let me know because it looks fine here. It looks terrible on my phone. Okay, so I got some new snips the other day. They're Corona brand, and I like the brand myself. There's the baby geese. It's a little choppy. Okay. I'll try going on. Try hooking up to my regular Wi-Fi. Just 1 second. Settings. I don't even know if you can see me right now. Okay, I'm gonna hook up a regular Wi-Fi. Okay, well, let me know how it is now. So I've been having a terrible problem in my flowers with budworms, and they're awful. They just go in the flower and do whatever they do. And from what I understand, if you're going to be growing flowers, it would be good to treat with something called BT. So how's it sounding now? Hopefully better. And BT is, I guess, a natural and organic, or something that you can buy that is organic. And it's supposed to, work on caterpillars only. So, oh, good. Okay. I thought maybe I would be too far away from the house in order to use the, oh darn, I should cut it one higher. In order to use the thing. Sorry about the wind noise. It's literally never not windy at my house, so that's just a thing. So right now I'm picking some calendula. I found it's like one of my favorite flowers, I think. They come in a lot of really fun different colors and styles. And I think they're great. But apparently, so do the budworms. And they just go in and eat stuff. There might be one in here. I don't see any. We'll see. I don't know. They're pretty awful. So tell me what you guys have going on this week. I'm doing this live right now because my best friend is coming to visit today, and I haven't seen her in over a year. So it'll be really nice. Yeah. I only started growing the calendula last year as well. And like it lasts a decent, like if you keep cutting it, I shouldn't have cut that one off. If you keep cutting it a little bit, if you put it in a bouquet, it lasts a decent time, I think, in bouquets. I mean, I'm no professional. I did sell my first bouquet last week, and that was pretty exciting. So that's all of that one I have here. That will do okay. That one's a little too far gone. So I'll move over to the other side here. It should be interesting to see how. Okay. Now, here's the other side. So I had this right there. I had this clary sage, and hey Petley, I took down all the flowers last night because it was just infested with the budworms, and they're just causing me all kinds of problems. Like, I guess next year I will, I don't know, I'll try doing the treatment stuff. Katie says her and her husband are heading out on an adventure after your crazy stressful year. When are you going? Are you going this weekend? Okay. So, oh, there's a bunch on here. Those jerks. Oh, you can't see that. So I have these rudbeckias that like I've been waiting for them to open for like, it feels like weeks. And I don't know if I should pluck some because they'll probably open in the bouquets. So I think I will. But it makes it to where like I don't really know what's gonna happen with them. But I think it could be worth it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. Hi, Third Haven Farm. I'm doing okay. Okay, so here's a couple. Oh, there's a bunch of budworms on here. Okay. I'll clip them off to show you. So, boop, boop. Sorry, it's like that guy. That's a budworm. And they go up. Sorry, you can't see very well. They go up into the flower and they bite the flower and they go inside of it. And they've just been causing me all kinds of problems with my flowers. I mean, granted, this is my first time growing. Hi, Pensive Jules. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. We're just picking flowers today because I started trying to sell flowers in bouquets. Oh, there's some aphids on this. Squish. And I thought it could be fun. So if you guys have any questions about what I'm doing, I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. And we can just curse the stupid budworms together. Plans change. You're headed south on Monday. Oh. Are you coming to Bend first, or are you going to, you should still stop by if you want. And I'm glad you guys are here. I'm sure this isn't the most exciting thing ever. But I really didn't have a better time to do this. Oh. So this one's in this flower right now. I don't know. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. But they're awful. Like, I never had to deal with them before. And there's a ton of them everywhere. They're just really giving me a hard time here. So, yeah, it's been really fun. Okay, well, stop by here on your way down to Bend, Katie. No reason not to. I mean, Mondays are pretty not busy here anyway. I think that one's gonna die. So I'll pick that off. I can find a couple of pretty good buds. They're called bud worms, and they're like little caterpillars, and they're stupid. And they've been really giving me a hard time. Last year it was earwigs. This year I treated with Sluggo Plus, which is supposed to help with earwigs. And now I'm dealing with budworms, etc. I like these calendulas. This one's called like Snow something, and it's not quite as nice as I thought it was going to be, to tell you the truth. But once it gets open all the way, it's like surprisingly cute. And the baby geese are so big. They're about as big as my white geese now. Someone tried to make me feel dumb by saying, of course they're bigger. They're a bigger breed. And I know. I mean, I knew they were a bigger breed, but I just didn't expect them to grow so fast. Okay, I have to try. So this is the, what am I saying? This is the Rudbeckia that I've been waiting to bloom for a bajillion years. And I think it'll bloom in the vase. You do like this? Well, I'm glad you do, Petway. It's a little chilly today, actually. It's about, I think it's only like 50 something. And I do apologize for the wind noise. I'm sure it's not great. I'll be talking about what flowers I'm touching throughout the whole video, or throughout the whole live pensive. I just touched a Rudbeckia, and I was in this bed is Rudbeckia and Calendula, and this is actually, what is it? Garlic chives, and I've never seen them before. I've been trying to grow them. I planted these like years ago, and this is the first time they've come up. So I think that's kind of funny. And so when you're picking flowers to put in vases, you want to tear off all the foliage that will be below the water. There's some, oh, this one's not going to be very good. Ugh, stupid. Now, I want to make sure and get, so I do usually 4 bouquets is my goal. I'm going to try, I have a little bit less flowers this worms. Okay, pet the cow for me. He looks so nice and soft. So I'll try for 3 or 4 this week. I'm not sure. So what I do, I think I gotta pull this a little bit farther away so I could stand up straight. Like I said, this wasn't super planned, so I wasn't sure the best way to go about setting up and everything. And my back's already hurting, of course. So I have some orange calendulas. They don't look very good, to tell you the truth. Here, I'll show you the baby geese. Oh, now they're running away. Baby geese, what are you doing? They're so funny. I like them. They're really, really entertaining. In the morning when I go to feed, they've been following me, and it's so cute. All the budworms are getting these too. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll have to use the BT next year. I was trying to. Well, I forgot to grab it when I was in town the other day. Well, I think you could do 4 bouquets with this. Hopefully, it'll turn out all right. So, what do you guys got planned for this weekend? Well, my best friend is coming to visit. I haven't seen her for a year and a half. I'm off screen, sorry. And it should be fun. I've known her since I was 12, and she's like the only person. She's an awesome person, I think. Anyway. I'm biased though. You've been talking about starting the homestead lifestyle with your family. And you're excited to have found my channel. Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I don't post a ton of videos right now. The beginning of the year, I had a really hard time battling some depression, and it's been hard to get back on the bandwagon of posting videos regularly, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to, but I regularly post, I mean. I've got a lot of stuff on my mind, and life's been weird, and life's been lifey, and so it just is a thing. But I try to share things that I know or that I learn, and I'm really glad you're here. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Since you're new here, I have chickens, ducks, geese, quail. I have a couple donkeys, and what else do I have? You guys know. I have a couple rabbits, but I don't really show them because they're really not very exciting. And a cat named Benjamin. Benji for short. I think the homestead lifestyle can be hard. We're definitely not as hardcore as other families. We're not like super great at it. Like we do what we can. We're in Central Oregon, and it's really hard to grow here. We have a very short growing season. What do I use for fertilizer for my garden? Am I in the path of a hurricane? I'm in Oregon. There's no hurricanes here. Oh, you're gonna maybe start on your greenhouse. What kind of fertilizer? So I am aware that a lot of people fertilize throughout the season, really gotten there. I find it hard to do what I do already. So at the beginning of the year or throughout the winter, I usually throw my chicken poo in all my raised beds and rabbit poo. So that's basically what I use as fertilizer. If I go with, non-manure fertilizer, outside source, and I'm not very good at gardening, mind you. I'm not very bad at it either. I grow stuff. But we get some Dr. Earth fertilizer sometimes. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm still learning. Though I'm finding that sometimes you can learn a little bit too much. And that sounds weird. And what I mean by that is, God, they're gonna make that look terrible. Those stupid things. Is that for me? If I learn too much, I start getting too technical, and the joy of doing it is slightly lost. Or working on stuff. I really went after the orange ones. So maybe I'll find more white ones. But I try my best and I learn all the time. I think, the biggest thing I learned this year, or the best experiment I had this year rather, was with the paper pots. And I think that was the best thing I've done. So if you don't know, Oregon and the Pacific Northwest went through a huge, really hot heat wave at the end of June. And that is basically when we can plant outside here. And so it held off our planting a lot. But I found that since my paper pot plants were all already outside, they were hardened off and everything, and I could plant them directly in the garden, and they had no issue with being transplanted. Like, have you heard of transplant shock? Sometimes when you take them out of a plastic pot and put them in the ground, they get all droopy and upset. But they experience little to no transplant shock using paper pots. And I'm like, I think I'm going to continue to do that. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do paper pots because it takes a lot of time. But with being, I was able to plant them when it was 100 degrees outside. And they had no problem at all. It was incredible. Also, on top of that, and I don't know if it's because of the paper pot or whatever. So also on top of that, my plants in general had no problem with the heat. I didn't experience any death of the plants because of the heat or wilting. So I thought that was just really interesting. And I'm definitely going to do paper pots again. And if you go through my videos, I have a live where I do paper pots with you guys. And you can learn about it there. I don't know if any of my mods are in right now. Okay, sorry. Back to it. Katie was just wondering because she has other gardening friends that use it throughout the season with good results. Oh, well, you'll find new ways of doing stuff in your new location. It is all a process. I didn't start gardening until 2015. So, I mean, but I'm also kind of a nerd and I deep research everything a ridiculous amount. That's part of my ADHD and stuff. And so I learn a little bit differently than others and then enact it a little bit differently than others. But what I do seems to work for me, work okay anyway. Good morning, little Frenchie in Big Texas. I hope you're well. I'm doing okay. It's a little bit cool. Sorry about the wind. Of course, when it's cooler, it's been windier, but when it was hotter than crap, it was like still air. Do I have a greenhouse? I don't actually. We're thinking about making one, but haven't got that far. And we have a lot of stuff to do, here. And so it's been something that's been on the back burner. But I think we're gonna build one to have it available for the springtime. And we'll see. I just saw a giant one. Get out of here, worm. Stupid thing. God, they're awful. I wish they wouldn't hurt my flowers. Ugh. You get so excited for something and then, you have to learn how to deal with the stupid bugs and pests. Yeah, it's a little refreshing, but I'm actually a little bit cold, but I knew if I put on a sweater, I'd be too warm. What else? Okay, I think we can move on. The orange ones don't look good for picking, so I think we'll move on to my next area. My garden is kind of all over my yard from experimenting with various locations. And if you are on a new property or if you haven't, I do recommend experimenting with locations of your garden. And this was one of the first ones we put in, and it's not in the best place, but stuff does okay. And we eventually tried, there's a far one over there, and then here's one, and on the other side of that far one was where I tried my bucket gardening. And the reason why I tried that is because we have such late frosts. Sorry, I'm seeing if there's flowers over here to pick. Not a huge amount. And I thought that if they were in buckets, it would be nice to be able to, nice to be able to move them if it was going to be really cold. And we did do that, and it turned out okay. Okay, here's my other one. It turned out okay. But, and I also put some on the south side of the house. I found that the buckets on the south side of the house did better because that creates like a heat sink, and they did great. So that's where I'm moving my garden to. But I decided to put flowers and stuff, and squash does pretty well in these other beds. So this one, this one is all right. It's not a terrible bed. It's got a lot of volunteer kale in it. Oh, hey, Tim. Hope you're well. Let's see. Oh, if you can afford it, Pensive. So expensive here. We got in our property like just below or just before everything got really expensive. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. Okay, so I have some sunnies. I don't know if I have enough sunnies. So when you're picking flowers for bouquets, you kind of want them to be like not super open. So I don't know if this is too early to pick them. This one would be good, but the stem isn't long enough. These are volunteer sunflowers, this particular one. I think I'm going to have to wait. This would be a nice one, but it's got a little bit of ickies here. I think I'm going to have to wait. I think you're going to miss out on these, actually, because they're probably going to open at the beginning of next week. And I've been trying to do flowers, picking flowers on Friday and making the bouquets for Saturday morning. And I don't know if that's like the best way to go about it. It hasn't been like completely awful. You know, to be honest, I haven't had a ton of interest, but it's been fun anyway. So that's fine. And this is one of my tall raised beds, and if you can afford to make them and have the time, I really recommend them. They're so nice. It's so nice not to like have to bend down and do stuff. It's a lot easier on the back, especially if you are in your like final destination. Like if you're in your final location, then definitely build for when you're old. Build for your body and go easy on yourself, because your life will just be so much easier. Oh, that's it's called Gray Butte. Not really a real mountain, but it's nice. I call those hills my unicorn hills, because when the sun sets just right, it's beautiful. Yeah, the property costs are through the roof right now. There's the donkeys. Hi guys. Sassy got some sort of growth by her eye, but it's still summer. I don't know if they're gonna need to like cut it or something, and you don't want them to do that kind of stuff in the summer when the flies are really bad, because then the flies, they'll get fly strike. Yes, Stuart? Can you hear him? What? What? Do it. I thought he might yell. He's just hyperventilating. This is like the pre-yell. I am in the eastern portions, and the costs aren't down, but that's because we're close to Bend. Bend is kind of yuppie. I think it's probably cheaper in eastern Washington than Oregon in general. Even my best friend, she lives in LeGrand, and even stuff went up there a considerable amount. And I don't know. Dan's not extremely happy with the way things are going in Oregon, so we are casually looking for other locations. So donkeys don't make good guardians. I know people say it, but they are prey animals themselves. They will, protect themselves if they're large donkeys like Sassy and Stuart. But they also they don't like small animals. So I would never put my donkeys with goats or anything like that. And now this is obviously something that is dependent on the individual animal, but my donkeys don't like dogs, and they don't like children, and that's not usual or unusual. Mine just don't like them. They just ran away. Not a big deal. They just are like really unsure. So I think I got nothing else in here. I have a lot of this stuff. This is my favorite right here. I had all kinds of volunteers. I have ground cherry, and I have some tomatoes that volunteered, and I think it'd be fun to use them as greens. I've seen that in some other bouquets, and I thought it looked kind of fun. Okay, I got nothing else in here that will be suitable. I have a lot less stuff today than I did last week, which is kind of sad because I don't really have a lot else. Okay, let's see. But as far as donkeys, you know, that's the thing. It's like expecting geese to protect your chickens when geese are also prey animals. And so that's just something to really consider. You never know if they will actually protect anything. So here's my sunnies. And the reason why actually I have Sassy and Stuart is because they were chasing my friend's animals and not being very nice to them. How much longer is my growing season? Realistically, the first week of September. Optimistically, maybe through September. It's hard to say for sure because it's just unpredictable here, really. I'm looking at these, trying to find some flowers. I wish this one had an owie. Oh, it had bugs in it. Ugh, stupid bugs. They're giving me such a hard time. But this one's nice. It probably could work for a little while. Anyway. Yeah. We'll see. And I think these are too open and too big for my bouquets. I've been avoiding clipping this one. Oh, here's one. Because it has like 2 other buds on it. So like for me, I kind of garden. Really my bees come first. I keep honeybees, if you guys didn't know. And so one thing I'm trying to let people who get my flowers know, and I'm still working on, I'm still new at like trying to market stuff. I want them to know that, I kind of grow for my bees first and flowers second. So my flowers may not last as long because when they get pollinated by bees, they just want to go to seed. And I want to, someone said to me that I should let people know that, farm fresh flower bouquets kind of challenge the idea of the perfect florist bouquets. And I thought that was just a really, I got a sliver and it sucks. I thought that was a really nice way of putting it because the beauty in the farm fresh flowers is more so in the imperfect and in the natural state of things. Do I grow indoors in the winter? Not really. It's a nice break. And I use that time to plan things and be winter depressed. And then I think we start seeds in March, April, and we'll see. I'm not sure. Sorry, I can't see now. It's okay if you haven't looked around the channel. Yeah, I keep bees. And Katie has until the middle of October. Oh, nice. Not sure your tomatoes will ripen. Well, you can bring the tomatoes inside and they'll ripen inside when you get close. I mean, but that's still over a month away. There's no reason for them not to ripen, really. I don't know if this one's going to do. We'll pluck it and see what happens. So, look how this one didn't really open all the way, but I don't know if it will. But I think I'll put it in anyway, and also use those words that I was just saying to kind of talk about, why my flowers are different and what to expect. I had my first sale last week, but I also had my first complaint. And I was using some Rudbeckia, and the particular kind that I have are naturally, like, their petals go down, and she thought they were dying, and they weren't. Yeah, I last year I had to ripen. I usually have to ripen a lot inside, but I just put them in a large crate or, a small crate or whatever I can find. And I put them in a darker room, and it seems to go okay. So, don't have a lot of sunflower options today. These ones do okay if I can find if they're about to open, but I try to have like the same amount of stuff, and if I don't have 4, like this is too far gone, they'll die really fast. Oh, sorry, this one. And this one, the ends are a little bit wonky. So, gosh, the silver. So I see 1, 2. I only see 2 that will really work. So I think I'll have to skip them this week. They're kind of fun though. Oh, thanks, Petway. Yeah, I would say that my videos are mostly beekeeping based. Let's see. Do these look okay? Not really. They're too open. And so I planted all different sunflowers here, and they look all the same to me. So maybe I screwed up there. Okay. Let's go here. So I have lots of... Oh, you guys. Oh, my goodness gracious. I gotta go get my bucket real quick. I found like 70 hornworms in this bed. There's 4 tomato plants in here, and so many hornworms, you guys. And then I put them in a jar so that I could fatten them up for the chickens, and that was really fun. I enjoyed that because, like, I really like learning, and so I could, hold the jar up and like watch what they're doing and stuff. There's really not a lot for me here. I grew some I think they're called Cupid. I don't remember. Zinnias, and they're just too bright. I think they're too bright and too small. So I'm not really a big fan of them. And you kind of just learn about the stuff, I guess, as you go. I'll have a lot of the same kind of zinnias apparently. Three minutes left. Well, where have you been this whole time, Bruce? Hey, Bonded Oak Acres. Let's see. Did I miss anything else? You want to do a cut flower garden too? Yeah, Flora is a decent resource. You know, she's in a very long growing season compared to me. I think it's fun. I really like flowers as well. It feels, I don't know, I've always liked flowers, and now I kind of grow them for my bees anyway. And I think you can kind of like take that knowledge and bring it wherever you are. And hopefully the wind's not too terrible. But you guys are still here, so yay! So just for future reference, like calendulas really are something to watch for, is that they like to attract aphids. And this can be good or bad depending on what your use for calendulas are. So if you want to use the calendulas in flowers, it's not the best, but I just kind of squish the aphids. It seems to work out okay. And I mean, obviously I try to pick ones that aren't so infested. But, you know, stuff happens. Will someone type out that I said hi to Bonded Oak Acres since he has no volume right now? Because he's at work. That would be great. Let's see. So I kind of let this bed go kind of crazy. And I like that. It's not very good for the plants in general, because if they're too like compacted or whatever, they don't do as good of a job growing. But for me, I think like, I don't know, I just really like seeing plants close together. It brings me so much joy. I don't know why. It's silly, but I like plants. I think really going with this cut flower thing is it might be something for me. So I've been planning next year's garden, and I've already been buying a bunch of seeds. Oh, it's way too. It's too stuck in there. Let's see. I'll go on the other side here. Let's see. It might be something for me. Like, I'm always kind of striving to find like something that makes me feel like I'm contributing more, because I don't work, and which is fine for us, but I also feel kind of like I'm not contributing to the best of my ability. And so I'm always looking for that thing that I really enjoy. Maybe cut flowers is it. But there's no way for me to know until I try. And so that's what I'm doing this year. I did not plan on selling cut flowers. You think I'm pretty cool? That's nice. Thank you. Sorry, I'm breathing hard. So, now you can like see them in all their glory. Those are my new raised beds. So far, so if you don't know why we made these raised beds, it's because we have a terrible problem with rodents. And no, I don't want an outside cat because I live right on the highway, and cats get hit on the highway really really often. The highway is just on the other side of those trees there, kind of down a little hill. I've had a pet hit, and then a cat that was dropped off here got hit too, and before I could befriend it. So that's not really an option for me. I just live too close to the highway. So we were building these raised beds. They're all metal, on the bottom portion. They're 26 inches high. I was hoping that would make it to where the mice couldn't climb up. I think they look so smart. They just look really slick. So far, they're working really well. I haven't noticed any rodent activity necessarily in the raised beds. I might actually get some ground cherries this year. I didn't used to breathe through my mouth so much, and then I got chunky, and my nose is plugged up a lot. You bought a bunch of used galvanized roofing to use for your raised beds. Nice. Okay. Let's see. I have a little bit more calendula in this bed here. And then I have some more stuff in my other bed. Let's see, what else can I find? I wish I had more flowers to choose from. But, I mean, like I said, I wasn't, planning on doing cut flowers this year. Don't mind my buckets. I use buckets for everything. But it's been really fun anyway. These are cute. Calendulas is so adorable. Someone told me that people might not like them because they're loose. I don't know. I think they're cute. I don't know. I'm mostly, I am my target audience as far as selling things. And so I actually when you're supposed to pick who your target audience is when you have something to sell or whatever, and I'm just me. I am that person I want to sell to. I didn't make a video, and that's because at the time there was the video that I followed on them, but they've since took it down. I can link you to. They're so easy, and I'm not really. I mean, I think it would be weird because I followed someone's YouTube channel already. I felt weird about doing it myself. So, yeah. So that's why I didn't make a video on them. But they're really, there's a lot of steps, but it's really easy. The downside is they're pretty expensive. Still, I mean, there's a lot less wood, so they're cheaper than wood ones right now. But I would say they're probably $200 each or more. I can't really remember. Here, and prices are going to vary throughout the U.S., but here right now, the galvanized panels, they're 26 by, these ones, I bought the 8 feet ones because that's just really nice rounded number to use. They were more than they had been. I think $15 or $17 each, which really isn't a lot. But where it got a little bit more expensive was there's some conduit that we use to support the walls. There's some 2 or 4x4s, and then there's 2x6s. But overall, I could do almost all of it myself. There was some added cost for us because we put hardware cloth on the bottom to protect the beds from digging critters. And the only thing I really needed help with from Dan was putting the hardware cloth on because it's really hard for, it hurts my arm, everything. And then to flip it over after we got the hardware cloth on. But basically, they were my project. And Dan did help me cut the metal and stuff. But overall, like I said, easy, just a lot of steps. I like the rusted look too. However, here in my specific area, the used panels were more expensive than brand new panels by twice as much. So, because she was selling them for $2 a foot at the time, maybe more. There's only like one place around here to get them, but it was more expensive than buying new ones. And plus, I like the look. I like the look of the new ones. Okay. Oh, I just got hungry. Okay. Just a couple more, I think, of these. You know, the flowers that I have in the thumbnail were flowers I picked last week. When did I pick them? Earlier this week, not last week. I picked them on like Tuesday, I think. And because they were going to be too old to use in bouquets this week. And so I was like, I'm just going to pick them and put them in my own bouquets. And it will be great. And it was. And it was. Okay, I think one more from here. So what I do after I pick everything. So right now we're just picking flowers. And after we're done picking flowers, we'll pick greens and filler. It's kind of a long process. It's longer with my mouth running, but it's been fun. So I'll be on here until I'm done. Well, at least, you know, these raised beds are going to last. You might have to replace the wood, the wood on the top, but they're probably going to live longer than me. So I wasn't really worried about that. Hey, one more, maybe. I just remembered when I was coming into contact with all those hornworms. I accidentally touched one, and you guys kind of know I'm silly, but I touched one and I was like, oh my god, I touched it, and I ran away. I totally ran away. And I know there's like a ton of people that are like okay with touching hornworms. They're so squishy. Like, I did not enjoy touching it. Well, I kind of pick all kinds of random stuff for fillers and greens. Right now I can't actually remember off the top of my head. I did start using some native stuff, and I really enjoy that. So we have, you know, an abundance. We're in the high desert, so we have an abundance of sagebrush, and right now they have their flower plumes, and those look so cool. Baby's breath. I do like baby's breath. Mine is a little bit old. Oops. Broke that. Old, a little spent, but I still like using it because it looks cool. I might use some tomato greens. I'm not sure what else. What else have I been using? I don't know. I can't remember. Okay, we have one more. That sliver is still in my food. Okay, I'm gonna move on to my next spot. I don't really have many more flowers to choose from. No, people burn white sage, and that's different than sagebrush. It's just different. That bush thing there in the the center of the frame. That's a sagebrush. Okay. So here is, let's see. Here's the last bit of flowers that I have to choose from. Tilt you a little more. Hey Rodney, how are you? Okay. Got my snips. Okay, so we're picking. Wait, I need my bucket. So this mostly is my ornamental garden. It has native plants and non-native, but it's probably one of my favorite things that I've done. We put this in last year and I adore it. We had to dig down. Was it last year or the year before? I don't remember now. We had to dig down into the ground and then we put hardware cloth because the gophers are so bad out here. They're so bad. And we were trying to just figure out how, to have a real garden in the ground when we have to deal with the gophers. And it's been one challenge after the other, to tell you the truth. It's not for the faint of heart gardening out here in the high desert. I know I'm kind of far away from you right now. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. So these are I think this is the flowers that the lady was unhappy with. But I quite like them. I like how they look really like wildflower. It makes them really fun, in my opinion. I'll take this one. And what's really cool that I've noticed is that the more that you cut flowers, the more flowers bloom. Like more flowers, come up and bloom. And that's always been something I struggled with because you kind of felt bad for picking them, but you want more, so now you pick them. I think I'll come closer now. Let's see what I missed. Hi, Spanish Homestead. Oh, we are really dry. We haven't had rain in months. It is a beautiful day. Hey, Jason. I'm a pretty good procrastinator too. Let's see. Can I do this? Okay, great. Tilt it a little more. My back's starting to hurt. There. So, I gotta pull off these greens here. Or pull off the leaves and stuff. I find that, what are these? Rudbeckia. These are the Rudbeckia. They're a little bit pokey. They have a little bit pokies on them. And I'll pull up our Swarmstead got timed out. I just saw his thing. I wasn't really looking. There we go. I'm pulling up the chat on my phone so that I can see it better. Come on. There we go. You had almost 6 inches of rain the other day. Holy cannolis. That is, we have not had like hardly any rain. We've drops, like a couple drops. We had some really bad thunderstorms and lightning storms, and they did not come with rain. That was scary. And as it always is for us out here. You're on your 18th week with no rain? Wow, so sorry. Yeah, fires were started in the area, which apparently is a thing that we have to deal with now all the time, every year. There was a fire that started less than a mile away from my house. The same fire, well, not a same location. There was a fire that started there last year. And I mean, that's one reason why we're casually looking for elsewhere to live. Fire's scary. It's fast. I don't know. There's a lot of one of my friends actually, she lost her home in Talent, Oregon last year to a wildfire. And she was actually in town, so it went into a town, took out the town, a part of it. And then this year, in the bootleg fire, she lost her property. Well, and about, I think, 9 colonies of honeybees. That's where she kept her bees. And so they're looking to move to the East Coast now. What sucks here is that there's no accurate weather stuff, and that's because we aren't really close to a town. And when other parts of Central Oregon got rain, it just went around us. We didn't get any. And that's just, desert life, I guess. And what's really crazy is, like, most deserts have like monsoons. Like in like Arizona, they get monsoon season, and we get jack diddly. We're just dry. Though sometimes we get a lot of snow, which hasn't happened since 2019. So, we just, try to have a plan with the fires and stuff, and we're not as prepared as we should be. And I don't think that's another reason why we're looking to move. Is that, like, I don't think we're just not cut out for that kind of preparedness. I mean, we're not amazing homesteaders. I probably hold Dan back. He'd be a better homesteader without me. What do I want to cut off here? Maybe this. Oh, you have flood irrigation? We have no irrigation. We just have our well, which we don't have water rights, so we're only allowed to water like a small portion of stuff. Okay, I think I'll pick some of these aliens because they're kind of fun. I think they're about done as well. So I probably only can do bouquets for maybe 2 more weeks. I don't know. It's hard to say. We have to start keeping a really good paying attention to the forecast, because we're going to start having freezing nights, and I either have to like say, done with gardening this year or work on covering everything. I don't know. I think I don't have enough to do 3 per bouquet, but I think 2 will look weird because you want to do stuff in odd numbers. That's just a aesthetic thing. Oh, there's Spider. Go on, get out of here. Okay. Those orange calendulas aren't, doing as much as I want them to. Okay. We're gonna call flower picking done. So this is what we got for flowers. Should be enough for about 3 to 4 bouquets. And so we'll put these off to the side and grab my other bucket and work on some greens. Just catching up. Petway says, has heard of owning property but not having the mineral rights, but never have heard of not having water rights. Honestly, I can't really explain it. It's just some states have it to where you have to pay for water rights. And the purple poofs are alliums, ornamental onion. And basically, it's hard to get water rights. It's really expensive if you don't have them already. And mostly the older properties have them, the water rights. And so it's hard to get new properties or properties that didn't have it already to have water rights. I can't really explain it very well. You'll have to look it up for Oregon. It's a massive cluster of information that, people just, not everyone understands. So I certainly don't. Okay, so now we gotta go find my white bucket. There we go. And we'll work on picking some greens. I might have to take a potty break. Because, as you know me, here I'll give you a view of my, trying to give you a view of my herb spiral while I take a quick potty break, run inside. I'll be right back. I saw that Pensive said that the rights stay with the seller. That's not the case for water rights. Water rights stay with the property and are sold with the property because the property is the one who uses it, if that makes sense. But it's still really, it's really crappy. It makes it to where we can't build a pond without permits and stuff like that. And so It's just blah. I have to find my water. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're going to find my water and, sorry, and the white bucket for, sorry, it's a mess. I start projects and then I don't finish them, and that's just my life, okay? That's just my life. I just need some water. Okay, we'll just leave that there. Seems like a decent spot for it. I never have liked peeing outside. Okay, so Pentev was asking about a greenhouse, and we have this part from the old donkey shelter, and we're thinking of making it into a greenhouse. We'll put it up. It's about, I'll show you. It's on one cinder block now. So I know if without the cinder block, it's probably this tall, just this portion. And we'll put it on 2 cinder blocks, and that will make it to where Jan can go under. And so we're thinking about using that as a frame for it. And I don't know, we have so many things we want to do, and you know what I mean, there's just a lot. Okay, so here is my white bucket, and what we are going to pick first for some greens is back in this bed. By the way, that is a Ronde de Niche squash, and it is so prolific, and the leaves are so cool. I recommend it. Let's see if I can show you. It's kind of hard to see because of the sun and my shadow. So I won't show you, but it produces round zucchinis, and it's quite fun. So on this side of the bed, we have Lovage, and I've been having a good time using that. Okay, bye, Spanish Homestead. I'm glad you could stop by. Yeah, it's been really fun to use as greens. And so I think I'll keep using it. I did notice it kind of, it gets a little mushy if you don't keep up with refreshing the water and trimming the ends. But I really am enjoying the look of it in bouquets. Last week I thought I was going to have enough flowers to do like extra bouquets like in pint jars, because I've been doing them in quart jars. And so I thought I would have enough, and I ended up not having enough. But I picked enough greens to fill up extra pint jars. So I was kind of mad at myself because I felt like I wasted a lot of stuff. So we'll pick just a little bit more of this. It kind of looks a little sad. We had some really windy days, and that hurts the edges of the leaves and stuff pretty good. So I might not have a whole lot more to choose from here. Lovage is an herb, I think. Excuse me. And it is kind of like celery tasting, and it smells a little bit like celery too. It's gotten a lot bigger this year than it did last year, and it's a great pollinator plant. So it has like these little flowers, they're like little umbels, that the pollinators seem to really like. Okay. I guess I don't really have more of that to choose from. So, next stop, we're going to go in the chicken pen because the chicken pen has some native rabbit brush that I like to use. Oh. We'll go back there in a minute. Okay, go plug in your phones. I'll be here. Until I'm done picking greens, and then you have to let the flowers rest. Hello, SR. Hope you're well. So, okay. Let's see if I can do this. So here's the chicken pen. That's Lady there in the front. Okay. This is going to be interesting. Oh, I'll just put this over. Okay. Okay. I'll put that over. Hi, Lady. Oh, I don't know if I should have brought my bucket, actually, because the chickens might try to eat it. Eat the greens. It's not something I considered. So, see all these fun little bushes. I kind of like using some of the greens from these bushes in the raised beds. The baby geese are starting to sound like grown-ups. I might have to put that bucket back out. I'm going to because I'm afraid they're going to eat. This is harder than I want it to be. Okay. Okay. I hate to play favorites, but Lady is my favorite chicken. She follows me. Come in. Lady chicken. So I just think these are really fun to use. Hi, Lady. Hi, girl. These are just really fun, I think, to use in bouquets. Yes? Now, if I can find more that don't look stupid. Lady. Yes? No, this one's mine. Yes. You're a good lady. Yes. She's so fun. She's the best chicken. Oh, yeah. They get some fertilizer. I have this growing all over my property because it's a native plant. But I just think it's really fun and unique to use. Watch out. Lady's just following me. I love that. I love it. And Sassy and Stuart are right over here. Hi. What? You helping? Yeah? That's nice. What do you think? Oh, she makes my day. She's during the heat wave, I brought her inside, and one other chicken, because they're the ones that make chicken keeping worth it for me. Because they're just amazing little critters. She's actually from my first batch of chickens, and she's from 2017. That's right. And I enjoy her very much. That's all. She's my favorite. Okay. Then I'll show you where Sassy and Stuart are. Here we are with Sassy and Stuart. How many chickens do I have? I have 14 large chickens, and I have 4 small chickens. I did lose 2 chickens to the heat wave, which was unfortunate. Obviously, no one wants to lose their animals for any reason, but I did everything I could do for them. And sometimes, they still want to die. Chickens like to die. It's kind of a pain. I'm really glad Lady hasn't. I think if she did, I'm not sure. I don't know if I would want to continue to keep chickens, really. What? Need more of these. So there's like various different types of rabbit brush, and I don't have enough of this kind that I want. Lady, you're the best. You're the best. Yeah. And the donkeys are like, what the heck are you doing? Why aren't you paying attention to me? Is there anything else in here? Oh, there's more of this that I want. Hi, Patty. Are you saying Lady is a tough old broad? She's a good lady. She doesn't really lay a lot anymore. Or if she does, someone's eating them. I got to the point where I just don't don't care what happens to the eggs. Because we get so many. I was selling them up until, the pandemic. And that made it to where people just didn't want to. Hi, yes. Can you guys hear her? She's just talking. Hi, yes. People didn't want to pick up or anything. And I live a little bit out of town, not like a really long amount. Just far enough apparently where people are not willing to drive. So I kind of gave up selling, and we do get too much for ourselves, definitely. Okay, this is probably enough of this. Okay. Lady chicken. I think I want some more yellow, I think. Oh, that's cute. My cat doesn't really talk very much unless he's begging for food. Then he'll talk. But mostly it's just yelling. So, these are kind of fun. What's really cool about this plant here is that it's a very good pollinator plant. And for native pollinators, And it actually, in my opinion, kind of smells like honey. It might be a little bit too short. We might have to go in the duck pen. Got a couple more here. Not as, here's a good one. But I think it's so cool. It smells a little bit like the honey my bees produce in the end of the year. Which is, I don't know, that just seems really cool to me. Because they probably use this a little bit. The donkeys they're just staring at me. That's what they do. Stare at me. I think. Let's go to another bush. Is that one? That's a big one? Oh yeah, here's a good one. So these, when these plants fall over, because they do, they get heavy and they fall over, they start growing up towards the sun. And I just don't really like how that looks in the bouquets. So I try to find when they're still standing upright, which is kind of hard because they grow weird anyway. I don't think, well, donkeys aren't really, they're herbivores, so it's not likely they'll eat them. But the chickens eat them, and the ravens eat them, and basically everything else. But pigs are omnivores, they'll eat meat and, you know. Hi again, lady. Lady's back with us. These ones are taller. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. There's lady chicken. So, this chicken is the only chicken I named on purpose. Though it kind of came about accidentally. We were, when we first got the chickens, we said, hey ladies, you know, and now like that's just her name now. And I have one more that I call Yelly, mostly because she yells a lot. Okay, I should stop picking this. I think I have plenty. I'll put you over the fence again. Oh, hey. How are you, Wonderland Acres? Okay. You're going over the fence. We're leaving the chicken pen. Bye, lady. I think if given a chance, I think Lady would follow me everywhere. It would be fun. So now we gotta pull off the greens and put them in the bucket. Pull off the stuff that is below the water line. Pants are falling down, sorry. Yeah, so I didn't want to name my chickens because, like, you know, there's a high chance that they'll get taken out by, you know, various predators. But sometimes they just get a name. Usually they're like a descriptive name based on how they look or how they behave. Got more stuff in my hand than I thought I did. I wish I could take a lady with me everywhere. It would be so funny. She's such a cool chicken. I don't know. I just like my animals, really. Costume adjustment, yeah. My pants like to fall down. So I find that bouquet making takes me quite a long time. Hi, chickens. More finally came out of the coop. I don't know what they were doing the whole time. Probably trying to get each other to lay. Being in each other's way. So right now we're pulling off the greens, the leaves and stuff, because if you have leaves below the water, it will turn the water icky and make the flowers not last as long. But I think I told you guys last time that Dan and I are planning our first vacation, probably since like a real vacation that was just for us. Oh, it's been over 8 years, I'm sure. So we're gonna go to the Virgin Islands. I'm pretty excited. We're working on our plans, and we're gonna be gone for like 2 weeks. And I found a farm sitter, and that was the biggest stress point, was finding someone to watch the animals. Like Dan and I have not left this property together. We have a couple times, but it was for, family stuff, family emergency stuff. And but we got this property in 2016, and we have not left it together for an extended period of time. And it's just time for us to, spend some time away, refresh. And it's not something we usually do. I do not like putting my responsibilities, aka my animals, onto someone else. I don't know what problem you're talking about, Pensive Jules. Oh, having your pants fall down? Maybe that's what you're talking about. I don't know. Yes. Aw, thank you, Wonderland Acres. I appreciate that. Sorry, picking greens. So it should be really fun. I've been to Hawaii when I was a kid, so I don't remember a lot. But otherwise, I haven't really been anywhere tropical before. And so it will be like a whole new experience. And I have never experienced the type of humidity that they have there. Like, it's often like, 70-80% humidity and stuff. A lot of like what people in the East Coast deal with. We here, specifically in Central Oregon, we have hardly any humidity, and like if it gets above 40, we like are dying. So 40% rather. And so that will be an interesting experience for me. Oh yeah. What are you guys doing? Did you guys see what happened? I just saw someone fell down. Oh, there was a shovel in there and they knocked it over. You good? So far, the baby geese are nice. Like, you really can't base how they will be on how they are before puberty. It's so nice to see everyone here. So let me know who's all here right now. I would love to know. I know there's Patty, Petway, Wonderland Acres, Pensive. I'm really glad you guys came. I've been kind of down on myself about how my lives have been going, but I think this is fun, isn't it? I thought maybe next week, not today, because my friend will be here while I put the bouquets together. But I thought maybe next week. Oh, I have a whole slew more. Maybe next week I could go live while I am putting bouquets together. It would be later in the evening. That is one issue. I know a lot of you are watching from East Coast, and I would probably start putting bouquets together after dinner next week. And so that would probably be around 9 o'clock or later for you East Coasters. And I know that can be hard for some people, but it would be a Friday night. Katie's still here. Katie's little homestead in the forest. I'm glad you think so. I'm gonna put bouquets. So the plants need to rest, or the flowers need to rest and condition in the water and stuff, so that they aren't so fragile. So I'll be putting bouquets together later tonight, probably around after dinner time. Probably way too late in the night, to be honest. Can you guys hear Stuart? What? You can't have my flowers. So the cool thing, so why we have donkeys is because, one, they're really hardy. Two, that was his noise. What? Two, they eat less than horses in general. And three, they're meant for the desert living. Hi, lady. Yes, I hear you too. Everyone's so talkative right now. And what's really nice is they actually, so you know how people get goats to clear brush? Donkeys eat more than goats, especially out here in the desert. Like, they eat sagebrush, they eat the junipers, they eat rabbit brush. And so why we have them is to keep down the brush on our property so that it is a fire break. And that's important out here. As you know, we deal with a lot of fires in Oregon now. It didn't used to be this way, but we've gone through many droughts now, and it's just drying up over here. So as a way to protect ourselves and our property, the donkeys eat down a bunch of stuff. I probably picked more than I need. That's okay. And so that's why we have them. They aren't meant, ours aren't meant to protect anything. They did try to kill a little dog. That was Stuart. That was new. That was scary. My farrier came and she brought her dog, and she was like, "Oh, don't worry, she's fast." And Stuart almost got her. But she was fine. But it was really scary, and I was like, I don't want that to happen again, because that would be really traumatic for me, being the animal lover that I am. Pensive asks, geese are aggressive? Yeah, geese can be assholes. Pardon my French. But yes, geese can be pretty awful, and they bite pretty hard, especially if they get you on the inner thigh, which my white geese have. One reason why we got the new babies is that we now have a male duck, which is called a drake, and the white geese were beating him up. And for us, we just don't have room for mean animals who are mean to each other or who are mean to us. And so when the baby geese start sounding like grown-up geese, we're going to try to get rid of the white geese. So if anybody wants to come up on a road trip for the white geese, they're good noise makers, which is, like, I can't prove it, but I believe it does help keep predators away. While they're jerks, I mean, they're not the worst. I can walk in there and walk around, you know, and like they're not like chasing me, but they get awful for me. Like, not too bad, I guess. They're not the most aggressive. Like, they don't come running, and I'm not like scared of them, but getting bit doesn't feel good. Okay. Now, here is a really fun one that I like to put in bouquets now. And it's called Red or Purple Orac. O-R-A-C-H. And I have both my clippers in my pocket. Oh, good. And it can be eaten as a green. There's green and there's purple. And it's okay. It's supposed to be kind of like a spinachy replacement, because spinach doesn't do well when it starts getting warm. These might be a little old now, but I've been having good fun putting these seeds in my bouquets, and because they just are really interesting texture. And hi, James. Sorry, I saw you came in and I forgot to say hi. So I think that, like, if someone else wanted the geese, they'd be a good addition if they needed noisemakers. But overall, I mean, they're okay. Dan doesn't mind them. We would have kept them if they weren't harming our drake. Like, they were plucking his feathers so bad that he was like bleeding and stuff. So they're just no longer a good fit. And we're not into getting rid of our animals. Like, you know, we kind of feel we brought them into the world, and we feel that they're our responsibility. But, you know, everyone has a line where they're just no longer a good fit. Yeah, but I don't really like feeding them very much stuff from the garden, and that's because they can get fat really easily. And, you know, nothing does well when they're overweight. I'll tell you from personal experience. And so you never want your donkeys to be overweight. So we only feed them what they get in their paddock, and, you know, they get some hay every day. And my farrier says they're a tiny bit overweight. I don't know if I think they are. Maybe they are. I don't know. She probably knows more than me. But they're easy keepers. Why did that? Come on. See you, Pensive. Glad you can make it. Yeah, so we don't have much more greens to pick. I want to get some of the sagebrush, and then we'll take a quick look around and see if there's anything else that seems like it would be really cool. And then I'll probably call it. Short. But I don't know. So this has been really fun. I'm glad I did it. The last few lives, I just don't feel like I have like a whole lot to say. I think I wasted all of like my talking points in the first year. But so, on the 23rd will be my 1 year YouTube anniversary. And unfortunately, due to depression and stuff, I won't have hit my goal, which was to be monetized and all that. But I'm trying to keep interest in the YouTube. It's kind of hard. It's hard to share stuff all the time. But I'm still here, and there's a lot of great people here, and so it makes it quite worth it. Almost. Just want to make sure I have enough of this. I think this is so much fun. And what's really cool about this plant in particular is it reseeds like crazy. So I usually end up pulling a bunch out at the beginning of the season because it comes in pretty thick. I'm glad that I didn't pull out more because I didn't really consider this as a cut flower thing, and I wasn't planning on doing cut flowers, but I'm really glad I have as much as I do now. Okay. I think we'll go here. I think this will be good. Petway, we have tried. Dan would really like to, and I told him that we could if we got meat animals, animals meant for raising as meat. So like broad-breasted turkeys or the Cornish cross chickens. But then I think why we haven't done that is because I told Dan, unfortunately, that it would probably be on his shoulders to take care of them. And yeah, I thought I'd be able to, and I'm not really. So we support other local farmers who grow, chickens and everything, and we buy meat from them when we can, and when they have it available. So we try to support our local community in that way. And I'm just, you said it. I kind of have just like a tender heart, and I love animals. Actually, we were watching. What were we watching? Oh, we were watching Homestead Rescue last night, and there was an episode where, anyway, someone went someplace, and there was this dog who walked up to them, and the dog had its ears tucked. Sorry, I'm all crooked. Had its ears tucked and was doing this low little sweet wags. Like you could tell that he was so pleased that someone was there and he really wanted attention. And they totally ignored him, and it made me cry. And I was so upset for this dog, and because it was so excited, and I just felt so bad because I can't ever turn down a dog pet. How can you? Like, what kind of monster are you if you can turn down a dog pet? It's awful. And I totally cried. I didn't mean to. My eyes just started watering, and I was like, oh my goodness. It was silly. Yeah, as long as, we can support, because we still eat meat. And so we just try to support other people in their ventures, which works out okay. So, here is the Sagebrush Plumes that I think look so cool in bouquets, and they're really fragrant. I think like using these when I was working on the bouquets in the house last weekend or last week, last Friday. These cutting these. I don't know. Have you guys ever been in a florist shop? Like it smells really unique, and I felt like that just made it smell like a florist shop, and I was all thinking it was really cool. And something cool, if you didn't know, was my mom was a florist actually when I was little. She had to stop because she found out she was allergic to roses, and you know they use a lot of roses. And so I think that's kind of like how my love of flowers and stuff kind of started. Yep, the sagebrush is native here. I used to not like how it smells, but then I've been here for a few years now, and now I kind of like it. And I think some people, I think you were here when I was talking about it, how I want my flowers, they kind of challenge the idea of a typical florist arrangement. And some people don't like that people forage from native plants and stuff. Just because, I don't know, I think they think it's not as good, or that it's not as much work, or as much valued as like a typical flower or a typical greens. But I don't know. I think that using what you have is a really good way to go. And I have a lot of sagebrush. You know, it grows all over my property. I have 20 acres. It's mostly in the front of my property, but I have these plants back here in the yard, and they grow great. Like this plant here, like it started coming up like last year, I think. It's gone crazy. So this is another one where it kind of, I like it to grow straight up, or else I feel like it doesn't look right in the bouquets. Well, I'm glad you like that. You're gonna have to come visit someday. Try not to put it off for too long. There's a spider in this. Try not to put it off for too long, because I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be here. Okay, Patty? Where did he go? He was the color of sagebrush. Did I get him off? I don't know. End up with a bunch of bugs in my house. It happens. This is what I do for yard maintenance, which is like nothing, because the grass doesn't grow unless it's watered, and we're in such bad drought this year. I know you've missed a lot of stuff, so you've missed a lot of my drought talk. People's wells have run dry here this year. That's a big deal. So we haven't done as much watering in the yard as we would usually. We've had to provide a lot of water for the animals. It's been a really hard year. One of my friends, she's been on a trickle all summer, and she gardens a lot, so she's had a really hard time this year. So we decided not to water more than we needed to. So if you don't water it, nothing grows. But we also try to, like, in this garden bed, I didn't really mulch it this year. I get some weeds, but we just made it last year, so not a lot has come in. It does get cheatgrass really bad, and that kind of stinks. I think I'll do some baby's breath because it's pretty much done for anyway. And even though it's a little bit old, I think it still really adds to the bouquets. So I will weed in my garden beds, but I don't really need to do a lot of stuff outside of it. If that makes sense. I'm really thirsty again. I'm gonna have to go get my water. Okay, I'm gonna get my water. I'm not taking it with this time. It's over here. My throat's really dry. Oh, I gotta put my pick flowers in the shade. 1 second. The sun has to eat that. Okay. Water. I was thinking about doing another garden tour, but really nothing much has changed since I did my last one, or at least it doesn't seem like it to me. I don't know. So this is a perennials baby's breath, and I didn't know at the time that there was perennial or annual kinds. So it kind of like just was happenstance that I had. I actually started this last year and it didn't grow. It grew, but it didn't provide flowers. But as you can kind of see, it's starting to go to seed and it's not white anymore. But I think like it's still, like, look at the texture. It's really fun. I think it's really fun. Yeah, it's really, really bad. Thankfully, I think we are on like a different aquifer compared to other people because we live in a low populated area compared to a lot of other people. And I don't remember where I was going with that. But yeah, it's been intense. We were really worried we might run out of water. I ended up calling one of the well companies and begging them to come out and just, give my well once over because I didn't know if I was going to run out of water. And I would have rather been prepared to know and prepared to pay them to fix whatever needed to be fixed or dig down deeper or whatever we might need to do. But they said everything was fine. And so here we are. But we're trying to still be, responsible with the water and doing our best in that aspect. It's hard. Like, you don't realize how much water you use until you really try not to. But I'm glad we haven't had to be as conscious about it as others. I mean, it's unfortunate for them, obviously, but I was really scared. I was like, I didn't sign up for that kind of experience. Like, we're kind of homesteaders, but we're not that hardcore. I'm not into hauling water. And it kind of scared me in the way, trying to think about what if we wanted to sell. Nobody wants a property. Nobody wants a property that doesn't have any water. And so, I don't know, it just would have been scary. Well, you can buy water trucks. We would probably have to get like a cistern and buy a water truck or get water delivered or whatever you can do. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I do post pics. I posted some pictures in my community tab, but I also have been posting a lot of pictures on Instagram. I'm trying to use it again. It's going okay. So Instagram is Farmstead Smith, and I also have been posting it on my Facebook page, Farmstead Smith, and so I've been posting quite a bit. But some people said they didn't really like the community tab, which made me think, I don't know, I thought it was nice. But they were like, I'd rather watch videos. And of course, you'd rather watch videos. That's what YouTube is all about. But for me, I just can't produce videos right now. But yeah, so that's just been like kind of some interesting textures on these leaves on here. Yeah, it's just been kind of a crazy time. Still gotta pull off some more so we'll fit in the bouquet. Yeah. So I don't know. It's been kind of a weird year. We finally had last month one in-person bee club meeting, and then we had to stop that for this one because they did some more shutdown type things. And yeah, it's just been kind of over what's going on in the world right now. So I've been kind of just doing my own thing. I'm trying to block out the BS and all that. I don't know. It's been really kind of overwhelming in general. Yeah. Like, even though, like, I was curious how people felt about the community tab, it also kind of made me feel self-conscious. And I just shouldn't ask. I should just let it be what it is. And if they don't like it, they don't have to read it. But or follow or whatever. They don't have to be here. I think. Let's see. I think it's probably a good amount of greens. Let's see. I don't see anything else. Those are cool here. They're called Russian sage, but they do not do well in water. They're really wimpy. They just. I could do some lavender, but I don't know if I want to. Let's go see. We'll go look at it. I really wanted to start doing mint, but it didn't happen. So here's my big lavender plants. There's some flowers. I just find the stems actually aren't very long. And you know what I need to do? I need to actually like research about trimming down my lavender so that it grows better next year. But I've really never really trimmed it. And I did actually lose quite a few lavender plants this winter because it was so dry. I think we're done. I'll show you. Here is the greens and fillers that we picked today. And the yellow ones are kind of in the center, sorry. They should be fun to work with tonight. And yeah, I don't really. I'll have to. So what I did last week was I took a photo of the flowers and the greens together. Oh, my battery is gonna die, so we're gonna get off here in just a few minutes. What was I saying? Oh, so I took a picture of the flowers that I picked and the greens that I picked, and that's how kind of I advertised last week. Here is the flowers that are going to go in the bouquets, etc. And so I'll have to do that, and then I'll bring the buckets inside. I'm out of breath now. It's a lot less smoky here than it has been recently, which is nice, but it's still, smoky. You just can't see it as much. So yeah, okay. Let me catch up. Yeah, there is growers locally, but I just don't like asking other people for help. Petway likes community posts. Oh, yeah, I think it has to do, you have to make a conscious effort for people you want to follow. Like, the more often you go yourself to their stuff, to their page, to their community tab, you're going to end up getting more notifications from them because then YouTube will see that you're actually interested. So that's when, like, Facebook is the same way. You have to purposely go to your friends' Facebook profiles and interact with their profiles, liking and commenting, in order for Facebook to like start showing you their content again. It's really frustrating, especially on Facebook, because I'm there on Facebook to interact with my friends. Yeah, I only see like 10 people's posts. And so the same kind of goes with YouTube. So if you are interested in seeing my content or someone else's content, I would recommend going through the list of people you subscribe to and click on their links, to go to their channels, watch a video, comment on it, interact with them, and that should help you. Should help the algorithm show you more of their content. So, okay. So I think what I'll do with you guys now before I go, I have 8% battery left. I'll show you from above kind of the picture I'll take of the flowers all together. Hopefully. And so, okay, here you go. You're going to be tilted. So I'll kind of take a picture like this. And then it will kind of be like, someone's imagination to see what comes together, I think. At least that was my intention. So I think it looks pretty. I have to say that the sagebrush is my favorite. It really is. And this, it's all kind of my favorite, to be honest. I have a lot of this kind of calendula. I can't remember what kind it is, if it's like strawberry blonde or something. But we'll see how it comes together. And it's time for me to go. 7% battery. It's going quick now. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to hang out with me here on Farmstead Smith. It was really awesome to hang out with you today. You made me feel heard again, and I enjoyed interacting and seeing you guys. So, yeah, I have to get going or else my thing's gonna die, and that will suck not being able to say bye. So thank you again, and I will see you next time.